Dropshipping has been a major craze in the make money online space for about 5 years now. So you've either probably already gotten into it at one point or you are currently pursuing it. It is a dope business model. It's made me a lot of money and allowed me to have the financial freedom that I've always wanted. But there are a few things that most people don't consider when getting into dropshipping. And this is exactly why I'm calling all dropshippers to come and watch this video so that we can come together and all come to an understanding of the things that need to be done to actually be successful. Because 90% of dropshippers do not actually have what it takes, because if you did, you would already be where you want to be. In this video, I will be calling you out on your BS and showing you how to adjust your mindset and your actions in order to actually be on the path of becoming successful with dropshipping. Oh yeah, and I'm going to be doing it in old-fashioned Noah Brewer rant style. So hope you guys are excited for this video. Now, probably the number one reason I see a lot of people come into this space, work very, very hard for a little bit and end up not seeing success, and why a lot of people struggle to even, make money, never mind finding their first winner, is because they are not fully committed to dropshipping yet. And the reason I say this, and you're like, oh, this is going to be another one of those mindset videos. Yes, this is going to be one of those mindset videos, because you're watching this right now. That means that you want to hear the true reason why you're not successful. And literally 90% of being successful happens in your mind. Okay, so I'm going to be calling out a few things here that you're probably messing up on. Most people will come to me like, hey Noah, I'm going to be trying out dropshipping for a few months. And that, like, right off the bat, is a complete wrong mindset to have. I'm sure that most of you already know this, but I am saying because I know that there's people in my audience that have this mindset, which is why I'm calling you out. If you're coming into e-commerce or dropshipping with the mindset of, I'm gonna give it my all for 3 months, a year, 2 years, whatever the number is, you're entirely missing the point. You need to be fully committed. This means that you are making it a part of your lifestyle, a part of your personality, a part of your mission, a reason you wake up in the morning and a reason you go to bed at night, so that you can wake up the next morning and do it all again. Dropshipping needs to be your full commitment, and you cannot look at it like a side hustle or anything like that. You have to literally be fully committed to figuring it out, okay? This means showing up every single day, integrating it into your daily life. You should not have to go out of your way to pursue this business. This business should be directly in your way. Other things should be in the way of you pursuing this business. Do not get it twisted, okay? If you go to any one of my friends or family members or anything like that, they will tell you that literally 90% of my life is just business, okay? Like, I have a few different things that I do, drop shipping, consulting, agency, real estate, but all in all, for the last 5 years, my whole life has been pretty much business. Honestly, more than 5 years, because in the beginning, I really had to ask my question, like, if you're gonna commit to this, you need to figure it out. There cannot be another option. There can be a plan B, but it's not going to be a plan B, because there's no need to have a plan B, because I will figure this out. The number two thing that I see most people come into dropshipping, and one of the reasons I think that they fall flat on their face, is actually not a mindset reason, and it's a technical reason. Product selection is single-handedly the most important part of dropshipping. The only reason that we like dropshipping is because we have the ability to not only sell products that we don't need to order inventory for, but we have the ability to move from product to product. This means that 90% of the dropshipping game is being able to, choose and maneuver from product to product until you have a winning product. The only reason we're dropshipping is to be able to do this. So you need to take product selection very, very seriously, as it's pretty much the only benefit to dropshipping. Dropshipping has a lot of pros and a lot of cons, but one of the biggest pros that a lot of you don't even take advantage of is the fact that you can test as many products as you want. You can test any product out there, and you don't need to order inventory for it. If you look at somebody who builds brands, they're going to need to develop a product, order inventory, get custom ads made. Like, there's so many steps that they have to do to pivot from one product to another. Whereas us dropshippers, we can literally just like whip up a website, get ads made online, and we're done. So on top of that, you can't just be testing any and every product out there. When people say like, oh, on average it takes 10 products to find a winner, it's not like you can just go to AliExpress and choose 10 random products and all of a sudden test them, and all of a sudden you're going to have a winner. Hell no. That's 100% not how it works. You absolutely have to get good at choosing and selecting products, and there's two real ways that you can do this and hyper accelerate your product selection skills. Number one is doing an ungodly amount of product research. Like, there was one time where a kid was, talking to me just in a casual setting. He wasn't a student of mine or anything, and he was like, Noah, like, how much product research should I really be doing if I want to be successful with e-com or dropshipping? And the answer that I gave him noticeably upset him, because at the time he was finding maybe like 20 to 30 products a week, and he was asking me from a genuine standpoint, like, if I really want to crush dropshipping, how many products should I find? My answer to him was like a bare minimum of 200 products per week that you're at least looking at to get a good idea of what's out there. And the reason I say this, and the reason I say that this is an ungodly amount of product research, because you are playing catch up. Someone like me who's been in the game for years and years and years, I'm not going to be testing the same products that you're testing because I've already tested them 3 years ago. If you follow any product research method out there, you're going to have to dig incredibly deep to find products that people like me haven't already tested and haven't already scaled. It's not that you can't not have success with saturated products or anything like that. It's just, in my experience, in order to get to a level where I'm at, where you're actually able to find winners consistently and scale them, you need to get yourself very up to date with the types of products out there that are already saturated, the types of products that are new, the types of products that, everybody else is testing. Honestly, this is a lot of the balance point with dropshipping, is anybody can do it. So if you just go out there and find, 5 products and you test all 5 of those products, and those are the only 5 products that you found, I can tell you that that's probably what every single dropshipper does. They'll just go onto TikTok or go onto AliExpress or go into an app like PP Ads or Ecom Hunt and just test the first products they see. And if that's your strategy, then I'm sorry, but like, you're literally just scratching, like, you're not even dipping a fingernail into the river of products that you could potentially be testing, and you're pretty much just testing like surface level products that people like me who are actually making money in the space, we wouldn't even consider testing that with a 10-foot pole. So this is usually where people get lost, and they start testing products that, are just terrible because they're not doing enough product research and they're not getting out there enough to really know, what's out there, what's saturated, what's new, what's a good opportunity, etc. The second way that you can get very good at product selection is the hard way. Pick a product, test it, and see if you are right or wrong. And you do that enough times, and eventually your product research and product selection muscle will build. You're going to be forming an opinion on something and then actually seeing if your opinion was valid or not. Think about the amount of times that I've done this. I've tested literally thousands of products on TikTok, and that's just TikTok. I've also tested probably, 3,000 to 5,000 products on Facebook ads alone as well. So the amount of, feedback loops that I've been through is astronomically insane compared to somebody just coming in and just picking the first products that they see and just testing them. So I hope you see that there's a major disconnect between where you are in terms of like experience level and ability to choose products, and where someone like me is. There's a major learning curve that has to happen in between. And if you're just out there like picking random products and just testing the first ones you see, like, you're gonna have a hard time, playing catch up and getting to a point where you're actually able to select good products. The number 3 thing that I see a lot of people get into dropshipping and end up falling flat on their face, because if they knew what being successful actually looked like, they probably wouldn't even want it. Yes, this is another mindset one, but this is also something that I'm basically asking you to question your life goals and if this is something that you really want to pursue, because the cost of pursuing entrepreneurship in general is very high. And I think that a lot of people, even though, they can do the product research, they can test the products, they can scale the products, whatever, most people are not willing to pay the price that it actually costs to become majorly successful. And this is obviously not just a problem for dropshipping. It's pretty much any business or any industry out there where people are trying to make money or be successful. And this is a very serious question that you have to ask yourself. And Patrick Bet-David made a very good video about this, where he basically called this out, and he said that you need to ask yourself, what are you willing to give up to get to where you want to be? And where do you draw the line, right? Like, are you still going to go out? Are you still going to see your family? Like, where do you draw that line? and then push yourself to your absolute max on what you can do so that you can hit the maximum goal of what you're trying to achieve. Essentially, you can say that you're all in, but what does that actually mean for you, and what are you actually willing to pay to get to where you want to go? And obviously, we are not talking about payment in forms of money. We're talking about payment in forms of, time, effort, energy, focus, time with your family, time with your friends, hobbies, basically trading other things for this, success that you want over here. Because I can tell you from firsthand experience, like, you're not really going to have both. You can get the success first and then start exploring, hobbies and having fun and going out and stuff like that, which is essentially what I did. But in the beginning, you really have to make the decision and draw the line. And I think where a lot of people draw the line is like they're willing to sacrifice very, very little. And maybe they tell you that they're willing, or they tell themselves that they're willing to sacrifice it all. But in actuality, they are not willing to sacrifice it all. Like with their actions, they're not actually, saying no to going to dinner with their friends to do product research instead. And I think that this underlying mindset causes a lot of the problems that we talked about earlier with not putting in enough work to product research, not being fully committed, because being successful is not something that you actually want, because the things that you have to give up to get there, you're not willing to give up. So it's a very, very serious question you have to ask yourself, and you have to make that decision and actually stick with it and follow through with your actual actions. And I can also tell you that, if you go through and you actually do end up seeing success, whatever that means for you, it could be, 10K a month, 50K a month, 100K a month, $1 million a month, you're probably going to cry. And the reason you're probably going to cry is not because you're insanely happy or insanely proud, but it's because of all of the things that you sacrifice to get there without the guarantee of actually getting there. So the whole time that you're sacrificing all these things, you're just putting in work, just grinding, which, by the way, people act like they love. But in actuality, it's not that fun and it's not that great. And you are making a sacrifice for the greater good. And we understand this. But everything that you've traded, you did not have the guarantee of success. So when you finally see it, all that pain of everything that you've sacrificed and you've just been holding your breath on literally gets released. So you get this really crazy feeling of, achieving something, but also, the relief of like knowing that it was all worth it. And it's not really a bad feeling. It's not really a good feeling. It's a very, very balanced feeling, because usually by the time you get to where you want to go, it is balanced. You traded what you needed to trade. You got to where you are because you deserve to be there, and you only deserve to be there because you balanced out the playing fields. You didn't get rich quick. You didn't really get lucky. Maybe you did, but you also made sacrifices. Essentially, my point is that if you want to be insanely successful, you're probably going to have to make some insane sacrifices of something. And a lot of you want to be insanely successful and you're not willing to make insane sacrifices for it, which is perfectly fine. I don't think you have to get, incredibly rich or insanely successful. And a lot of people have different definitions of that. But before you pursue dropshipping, you need to define these things so that you don't come into dropshipping with the mindset of like, oh, I still want to enjoy my life today. Because if that's the mindset you go into dropshipping with, you're not going to end up being successful, and you're probably going to eat shit when you go out and test, 20 products and still don't have a winner. You're just going to quit and start trading NFTs or some shit. So overall, before you get into dropshipping, make sure that you're fully committed. Make sure that you're actually investing the time and the energy into getting very good at product selection. And also ask yourself the question, if being successful with dropshipping is something that you actually want to do. Figure out where you draw the line and then ride that line to the end as far as it can get you. You just have to make the decision up front, because if you don't, then you're just going to dilly-dally and just kind of tiptoe your way through life, and time's going to pass you by. And always keep in mind that you need to deserve what you get, because if you don't deserve what you get, then eventually it'll be taken away from you. So if you want to be successful, you have to show yourself that you deserve it. You have to show everybody else, everybody who's watching you, universe, God, whatever you want to call them, somebody's watching, they're determining if you deserve it or not. And if you don't have it yet, it's because you don't deserve it, but you can put in the work moving forward to actually go out and deserve what you want. So I hope with these 3 tips have, basically optimized your mind a little bit to now look at dropshipping like maybe a better opportunity, or maybe you can put your focus on better places. But that's all I got for this rant. This is Noah Brewer, and I'm out. Peace.